Beautiful night for football. It was rainy here earlier, but the rain has moved out. We've cleared out. 61 degrees, a moderate breeze right now to the west at 11 miles an hour. And we're underway in Piscataway. Dennis Norfleet from the 3-yard line. Norfleet trying to give Michigan good field position to start. Big block as Norfleet is down across the 20-yard line, and the Michigan offense will make its way out onto the field for the first time tonight. And Devin Gardner back in the starting lineup. The numbers for the season, the interception numbers, key indeed for a team that has turned it over a lot this year.
Well, it'll be interesting how they start this game. You think they'd try to take it out of his hands a little bit, get the run game going, or short controlled passes. Don't put too much pressure on him too early.
He's got Derek Green in motion out of the backfield. Gardner to the air, and it's incomplete. Looking for his tight end, Jake Butt. And now second down.
Well, Coach, there's the short passes you were talking about. And, interesting enough, they go empty formation right out of the gate, but he goes to a tight end. That should be an easy completion, something that he misses on right out of the gates.
Well, Sean, that's what I'm talking about. You got to give this guy help. That should be a catch. No reason to drop it. It's got to be quick passes because Rutgers has 21 sacks on the year. Leads the nation.
No Eric Magnuson at left guard. Graham Glasgow has moved over to left guard with Kyle Kalis in at right guard on the offensive line. Second and 10 at the 21-yard line. Big hole for Derek Green. Green into the secondary and just tripped up across the 45 by Andre Hunt. A burst to the 47-yard line. He picks up 26 for Michigan.
Well, Green and the offensive line must have been listening to our broadcast because they start right off. Offensive line comes off the ball. They hit their landmarks, and there goes Green.
Great job by Jack Miller, the center, clearing the lane.
And Michigan going with a little bit of pace. This has not been a pace offense through the early stages of this year, but they get up to the line quickly. Now taking their time once they're there on first down at the 47. Here's Green again. A little harder to get up the middle this time as he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
As they tried to go up-tempo, which they normally don't do, Kevin, you're exactly right. You saw Dennis Norfleet, he was a little confused. And you can only go as fast on offense as you're capable of communicating.
It's interesting to see that hurry up because coming into this game, Coach, Michigan was averaging 29 seconds per play. So they're a big huddle team. They're not a big up-tempo team like we see a lot of college programs using.
You mentioned the confusion by Dennis Norfleet, Coach. He's out of the game right now. J.U. Chesson in with Devin Funchess. On second down, Green again. Trying to find running room. Well defended by Rutgers. Stacked up at the 48-yard line. A 1-yard pickup. Dewani Mera along with Garif Glashan coming up from the secondary to help out.
Well, it was good defense. Michigan lined up in 12 personnel, which means 1 running back, 2 tight ends. Rutgers played quarter coverage, which means when those tight ends block, here come the safeties. You got a 9-man front.
Justice Hayes, the third down back, who's good in pass protection, in next to Devin Gardner on third down and 9.
I'd look for this screen or the draw here.
Don't forget, Rutgers is a pass-rushing team. 21 sacks on the year. Gardner over the middle. Open is Funchess. He's got the first down and more inside the 30 and down at the 29. On third and 9, Gardner to Funchess to move the chains. 23-yard pickup.
Well, you'll see it right here. Just a 4-man rush. Offensive line does a pretty good job. In fact, the defensive end folded back underneath to try to spy Gardner because they know he's a dangerous runner.
Yeah, it looked like Kevin Snyder, number 45, was spying the quarterback.
Michigan on the move to start this ball game. Davion Smith, the lone setback. Smith the carry. And Smith down at the 27-yard line, a pickup of 2. Kevin Snyder back and feeling better after missing his first career game 2 weeks ago and only playing 2 snaps last week.
Yeah, and I tell you one thing, we're early into this game, but both of these teams, they are playing hard. That is big boy football out there, Sean.
Yeah, don't let the record fool you. Michigan has a lot of talent, and yes, they are young up front, but they have some big boys. And it's obvious to see what their game plan coming into this game. We are going to rely on the run, as you mentioned in the opening, Coach. Try to wear down this Rutgers defense.
Smith motioning out to empty the backfield on 2nd and 8. Gardner, short pass and the completion to Amara Darbo. And Amara Darbo out of bounds at the 21-yard line, a 6-yard pickup. And it's going to leave Michigan with a 3rd and 2.
I like what Doug Nussmeier's doing early in this game. Quick passes, even in the shotgun. Get the ball in his hands fast because, as I mentioned before, these guys are going to dial up some blitzes, and they got guys that have a lot of sacks. And when you get sacks, you normally get more sacks.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind that this is a new offense for everybody. When he came over, and this is his first year as the offensive coordinator, so there are some growing pains involved with that.
On 3rd down and 2 at the 21. Smith with some penetration. He's not going to get there. Rutgers blows it up. He'll lose a yard. Kevin Snyder along with Darius Hamilton stacking up the play on 3rd down.
Sean, what I said before in the lead, you got to control the line of scrimmage, run in pass. They're getting penetration. That play had no chance. Now, just watch it right here. You saw him slip to the inside, and
yeah, penetration by Darius Hamilton is what blew that play up. The fullback could never get up to the linebacker.
So now Matt Weil on for a 39-yard field goal attempt. And Weil's kick puts Michigan on the board to start the ball game. 3-0 Michigan with a lead, 10:09 remaining in the first quarter. Good start for the Wolverines.
Well, it sure was. They want to get that run game going. But watch right here. Why does it go big? Watch Kirk. See the defensive tackle. They've got a stun on, but you still have a gap. He gets way out of his gap. 2 guys in 1 gap. You're missing a gap. There goes the ball.
Yeah, credit the Michigan offensive line for handling movement. That's one of the toughest things to do. They caught Rutgers in a strong safety blitz right there. That's why the defensive line were slanted.
Weil ready to kick it off for Michigan. And Rutgers about to go on offense for the first time. Janarian Grant back deep. And Grant's going to bring it out. Then he puts on the brakes right before he gets to the goal line. And the touchback for Rutgers. Our Auto Owners Insurance impact players with Rutgers on offense.
Yeah, well, it starts off Desmond Peoples. Big shoes to fill for him. Paul James goes down. He was leading the Big Ten in scoring. For Desmond, I think he's really gotten better as the season has progressed. The big thing for him is blocking on 3rd down. He's got to do a good job with that. Leonte Carew, the big play receiver. 3 touchdowns last week. It's Gary Nova's go-to guy. He's going to have a big game.
And on defense there, defensive end, Frank Clark, the senior from Glenville High School in Cleveland, Ohio. The guy is really a force.
From the 25 on 1st down, Gary Nova with Peoples behind him on 1st. Peoples in trouble, and he's buried before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Terrific penetration. Jake Ryan and Taco Charlton combined on the stop. Gary Nova, the senior, who last weekend 4 touchdown passes to reach 61 in his career. That's the Rutgers record. 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions this year. 5 of those 7 coming in the other Big Ten matchup Rutgers played a couple of weeks ago here on BTN against Penn State. 2nd down and 11 at the 24-yard line. Motion from Grant. Nova sets up the screen. Nice move by Peoples. And Peoples fights his way out near the 30-yard line. Joe Bolden there for the tackle. Frank Clark came over to help out late.
I'm not surprised that Rutgers went to that play early. Michigan against Minnesota a week ago, that little slip screen was really effective.
Yeah, they burned him a couple of times. It was a little middle screen to the running backs, and they used the aggression of the defensive linemen against them.
3rd down and 5 at the 30-yard line. And a timeout's going to be used by Rutgers. An early timeout. The play clock was down to 5, and the sideline called the timeout. 3-0 Michigan, 8:47 remaining first quarter. Gary Nova 3 for 6 for 166 yards on 3rd and medium this year. He's completed 3 for 166 yards, Glenn Mason?
Well, that's not very good, I can tell you that, but watch Ralph Fridgen, the offensive coordinator for Rutgers. If he catches him in press coverage, he likes to go deep, and he likes to go deep early.
Nova with pressure up the middle, first down and more. Over the middle of the room, no run for Grant. Grant down the sideline, finally knocked out of bounds inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. Janarian Grant scoots all the way inside the 20 at the 17, 53 yards for Rutgers.
Live by the blitz, you die by the blitz.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin just told us he had 3 completions for 166 yards on 3rd and medium. Well, here's why. Defenses are going to pressure you on 3rd down. That opens them up for a big play. Gary Nova did a great job of finding Grant on the slant.
Huge play for Rutgers in the air, and now Archie Diacono, the motion man on 1st down, as the give to Peoples. Not a lot of running from Ryan Glasgow, the reason why. He shut the door on that run after no gain. Gary Nova, though, on 3rd down, gets the completion. You know he's fired up. He may not show it necessarily, but trust me.
Well, you know, an experienced quarterback like him, when he takes that snap and he sees those 2 linebackers coming, he knows he's got the slant.
Yes.
He knows it. All he has to do is put it on the money.
Throw it with confidence.
Play action. Nova with time. Looking for Grant in the end zone, and the pass is incomplete.
You know, Coach, it's interesting when you look at Michigan, defensive coordinator Greg Madison. I don't blame him for bringing blitz on 3rd down, because we talked about Desmond Peoples stepping up in the run game, trying to fill a void that Paul James creates, both the run game, receptions out of the backfield as running back, but blocking on 3rd down. So if you're bringing a blitzer on 3rd down, you're testing that running back. He did a great job. Desmond Peoples stepped up and cut blocked the linebacker.
3rd down and 10 at the 17. Carew, Grant, and Terzilli, the 3 receivers, and now Michigan will use a timeout. That toss to the end zone intended for Leonte Carew a moment ago. First target for Carew on this drive. Greg Madison, the defensive coordinator. Overall, he's been pleased, he told us this week, with his defense, but last week was a little bit troubling. 373 yards allowed to Minnesota. He was a lot more concerned about the tackling than the yardage.
Well, I watched that game film. I studied it, and they played pretty darn good defense. They had a couple busts. You always have those in a game. Unfortunately, they came at critical times, which is really tough. They lost field position, and you saw Greg Madison on the sideline. You know, there's a school of thought that you blitz a poor quarterback or inexperienced quarterback and play coverage against the good one.
Right.
The key is, what do you think of Nova? You know.
Yeah. Well, they think pretty highly of him based on what they said this week. They thought that he's done a great job of taking care of the football against pressure, but he's also very capable of hurting him with his legs.
Grant and Terzilli to the top of the screen. Carew split to the bottom on 3rd and 10. Nova with time off the hands of Grant and incomplete. Coverage from Jared Wilson, and Grant just couldn't pull it in, and now a field goal try for Rutgers.
Yeah, they just rushed 4 right here. They're playing coverage, and the slant's wide open. The thing about the slant, those wide receivers, they don't like that high. They want it right in front of them, right in the breadbasket.
You're right, and I think there was a little bit of alligator arms right there, Coach. I think he's got to come down with that catch. You know you're going to get hit anyways. You might as well make it a completion. 35-yard attempt for Kyle Federico. And the kick by Federico off the upright, and it caroms through. Wow.
That's the home field bounce for Federico.
That cannon gets you every time, Coach.
That cannon, I'll tell you. I'd rather be lucky than good. Make the kick. Here we go. It's my night.
Michigan and Rutgers knotted up at 3 apiece. Kevin Kugler, Glenn Mason, Sean O'Hara. Nearly a blocked field goal.
Yeah, you could see him right off the edge there. Got a great get off. And boy, he almost blocked that kick. The kick looked like it was pulled to the left a little bit. Blake Countess with a great jump on that snap.
Yeah, you know, the wing did a pretty good job. He got the guy to the inside, got a hand on the guy on the outside.
It was a pull. Coach, you do that with your 9-iron when you get a little nervous, right?
Except that landed on the green. Mine goes in the pond.
Norfleet ready and awaiting the kickoff. 4 yards deep, the knee down, and the touchback for Michigan. Each team with some big plays to start things off as we go downstairs and check in with Lisa Byington.
look in.
Now a little technical issue with Lisa. We'll check in with Lisa in just a moment. 7:29 to go in the first. A 3-3 score between Michigan and Rutgers. Second offensive possession from Michigan. What do we expect to see building on their first possession?
Well, I go back. They talk about they got to establish the run. You just got to keep pounding and you got to give it up. They already have one good run out of it. Go back to the run.
Chesson and Funches to the top of the screen. Green the carry, and Green a little bit of running room upended as he crosses the 30 at the 31-yard line. 6-yard pickup as we go back downstairs to Lisa.
Kevin, Michigan will not give specifics about injuries, but when I did talk to Brady Hoke on the field in the pregame, he gave me the feeling he was comfortable putting Shane Morris in a backup situation. And watching him warm up, he took the backup reps there in the pregame. Also of note, Russell Bellamy has been walking around holding his helmet the entire time. Shane Morris does not have his helmet with him. Remember, Russell Bellamy is the one who could not find his helmet last week.
And not going to take the chance that he doesn't have that one if called upon. Second down, Green again, and Green not finding much running room on 2nd and 4. David Maluski on the stop for Rutgers, and now 3rd down.
You know, Sean, that run was well handled by Rutgers, but on that first run, it went all the way to the safety. If the safety doesn't make a tackle, it goes a different distance. And you know, as an offensive player, former offensive player, if you get that running back all the way to safety, sooner or later, good things are going to happen.
Yeah, first play was definitely a scheme block. They did a good job edging it. Khalid Hill, the tight end, pulled around and made a nice block.
Now Hill, the motion man, out wide on 3rd and 3. Gardner in some trouble, and Gardner is sacked. First time tonight, Rutgers has gotten to Gardner, and that'll bring on the punt.
And here's 22nd sack on the year. Man, that's a boatload of sacks.
Great job by the defense. Kimoka Toure, we talked about him earlier on, but a lot of pressure here from Stevie Longa as well. And you know, when you are attacking an athletic quarterback like Gardner, you want to get pressure on him, but you want to keep him in the pocket. Don't let him sneak out.
Nearly got to that punt. Rutgers has become well known for their blocking ability. That one got off the foot of Hagerup and down at the 26-yard line.
Sean, you're exactly right on that pass rush back there. Let's see, they came close here.
Andre Patton almost got that one.
Good no call by the official. But on that pass rush, what they did was they contained the quarterback. They kept him in the pocket.
You know, as a defensive coordinator, you want to get pressure. So you call a blitz, and Coach, I'm sure this happened to you over the course of your career. You got the perfect call. Guy comes scot-free, and the quarterback makes one guy miss and runs up the field 20 yards.
Justin Goodwin in at tailback now on 1st down for Rutgers. They give it on the sweep. Grant picking his way for the 1st down. Grant still on his feet and finally down near the 43-yard line. Joe Bolden with the tackle of Jadarian Grant, and a good gain on the play all the way out to the 42.
Well, what a well-executed play, and what I really like about it, all the counter action in the backfield. Watch it here. If you're a linebacker, you don't know if it's going left, if it's going right, where did it go, and there it goes around the corner. Good play.
First carry for Goodwin. And Goodwin with a 2-yard pickup to the 44. Justin Goodwin, second leading rusher a year ago, was moved to corner to start off this season, then came back to running back. Then Paul James tore his ACL, and they were happy to have Goodwin back already in that spot.
Well, that running play right there doesn't look like much. That was a tough 3 yards. Ralph Friedgen talked about that's what we need, a bunch of tough 3- and 4-yard plays and have some patience.
Archie Diacono, the tight end, in motion. Nova on the 3-step drop, and it's dropped by Archie Diacono out at the 45-yard line.
You know, Kevin, going back to Justin Goodwin, I mean, what a great story. That, as you mentioned, he's back and forth. Am I a running back? Am I a defensive back? I mean, he's handling the football right now, and he also has an interception. How many running backs in college football could say that right now?
Over the last couple of games, averaging 93 yards a game. 3rd down and 8 at the 44. Play clock at 3. Nova with time over the middle. It's Carew, and Leonte Carew with a 1st down at the Michigan 32-yard line. Oh, did he take a pop at the end of that play from Jared Wilson? Somehow he hung on for a 24-yard gain, and he's slow to get up.
Well, he did take a hit. And
Arcidiacono in motion, and flags fly. This play stops, and a little bit of movement. Our referee tonight, Todd Gearlix.
False start offense, number 42, 5-yard penalty. It remains 1st down.
That was the motion man, the tight end, Nick Arcidiacono. Moved a little bit early after the motion.
yeah, he was going toward the line of scrimmage. You cannot do that.
So 1st and 15 now, back at the 37-yard line. Goodwin, nowhere to go. Boy, it looked like there was a crease, and then Big Willie Henry just shut the door on Justin Goodwin. Nice play from Henry. He was in the midst of being blocked as he made that tackle.
Well, that's one of the things Brady Hoke, when we talked the other day, he says the thing we can get better defensively is get off a block. He just ran right through that block.
Yeah, Coach, looked like they ran a little TT twist on there. They had a game on. And you mentioned it, Kevin. Not only did he make the tackle, he's fighting off the offensive lineman at the same time. Good demonstration of power there by Willie Henry.
Impressive play by the Cleveland native. 2nd down and 16. Nova all day to throw, goes short and picks up some of that yardage back as he finds Justin Goodwin on the sideline. Joe Bolden on the stop.
Michigan a week ago against Minnesota, when they were playing matchup man coverage, they weren't very disciplined. There was a number of times they were in good shape, but they took their eyes off the receiver, looking back in the backfield, and it cost them.
Third down and 5. Nova had a little problem with the snap, and no ability for Carlton Agudosi to break the tackle after the catch. No gain on the play, and the field goal unit will come on for Rutgers.
Well, he went with the fire screen, which is a low-risk, high-reward type play, and a good call in case they come after you with a blitz. You come with a blitz, that'll probably break it the whole way.
Coach, a safe throw, and I think that in the red zone right here, the one thing you want to make sure you do is come away with points. So I'm with you on that. Good call, especially with Leonte Carew on the sideline.
So it'll be a 45-yard try, and it would be a season long for Kyle Federico. His career long is 52 a couple of years ago. Federico's kick, curving and good. And Rutgers takes the lead with 1:32 remaining in the first quarter. 2 field goals from Kyle Federico. And the Scarlet Knights have the lead at home.
Well, you talked about my 9-iron.
Yeah, way to bounce
He hit
back.
that drive right down the middle, baby.
Talking with Frank Clark over on the sidelines. 3 and 8 in the last 11 games for Brady Hoke. And the kickoff through the end zone for the touchback. There's Coach Hoke.
I'll say this about Brady Hoke. I've known him for a long time. He came in as a player just as I was leaving Ball State as a coach. I've watched his career. They might have made some mistakes last week, but anybody that would question his honesty, his integrity, or his care for his players is way off base.
Yeah, I think you could see, I mean, one of the reasons why the players love him so much, look at him on the sideline, how much interaction he has with the players. He's talking to them. He's over their arm around them. He's genuinely involved in their lives.
I'd let my kids play for him any day.
On first down, Gardner Under late pressure, a flag is down as Funchess has the grab across the 45 and down at the 48-yard line. If it holds, it's a 23-yard gain. And Gardner thinks it's going to hold. You saw the applause from the Michigan QB.
Personal foul, hands to the face, 22 defense. We had a completed pass. The penalty is added on to that, 15 yards, automatic first down.
38 yards between pass and penalty, and Michigan in Rutgers territory.
Looked like Quenzel Lambert, looked like he rushed off the edge, and he was an unblocked blitzer, so that's a great throw by Devin Gardner. The guy comes right off the edge there. I didn't really see it, Coach.
No, it's hard to see from that angle. And you talk about a game of inches. He almost got there because there's no way Gardner could have seen him coming.
Put nice touch on that ball, though, to loft it into Funchess to get the first down at the 37-yard line now of Rutgers. Gardner slings it out to Funchess again. Nice move by Funchess. And Devin Funchess, one of the real talents at wide receiver in the Big Ten Conference, takes it out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
Well, this is one of those plays that Michigan has. They had a called run. They were going to run the wide zone to their right, but any time that they get a certain look, just with a hand signal, he can throw the ball out to the wide receiver. Michigan has done that forever, going all the way back to Lloyd Carr days.
And why wouldn't you throw it to Devin Funchess?
Second down and 2. Michigan on the move at the Rutgers 29. Gardner stepping up over the middle, and it's off the fingertips of his tight end, Jake Butt.
Let's not forget about Jake Butt. His recovery, remember, he had ACL injury and surgery back in February, and he's back playing football.
Yeah, they're trying to work him in, progress him along a little bit more each and every week. But I have to admit, I think he should have caught that football.
Yeah,
that was a great throw right there by Devin Gardner. He climbed up in the pocket, delivered a strike.
That ACL had nothing to do with him dropping the ball.
Norfleet, the motion man, on 3rd and 2 at the 29. Gardner floats it to Norfleet. Norfleet down at the 25 with a first down for Michigan. Glashan and Gauze combine on the stop. A lot going on that play, and Michigan gets the first.
Well, a lot going on, and that was really a well-executed play on both sides, offense and defense. Look at the touch to Norfleet, and watch Rutgers close. They got that ball carrier in a box and didn't let him out. Norfleet even sounds fast, doesn't he?
First down at the 25. Butt in motion. Gardner again to the air. Back to Butt. And a one-handed grab inside the 5. What a catch by Jake Butt. It's first and goal, Michigan. Start of the second quarter, Rutgers with a 6-3 lead, but Michigan on the move thanks to a tremendous play from tight end Jake Butt.
Yeah, this is a great throw by Devin Gardner here. And look at this catch. He reaches out with the left hand, corrals the ball into his body. You can see as he goes down right there, the right arm is clearly underneath the football. See it great from that angle. There's the arm right there, right underneath the football.
Excellent catch. And on the drive, Devin Gardner 4 for 5 for 55 yards, 4 completions to 3 different receivers.
Coach, who would you throw to right here?
The open man.
The tall guy?
I'd go to Funchess. Mismatch.
First and goal at the 5. Gardner going to run it. Gardner trying to break free, and Darius Hamilton with the stop at the 4, second down. Designed quarterback run all the way for Devin Gardner.
Yeah, you could tell that the Rutgers defensive linemen, they were ready for that. They maintained their rushing lanes. And anytime you have an athletic quarterback like that in the red zone, that's a safe play, isn't it, Coach?
It is. I think it's a great play when you have a quarterback like that, and if you catch him versus the blitz, you're walking on in.
Michigan, one of 7 teams in the country perfect this year in red zone scoring opportunities.
12 to 12, right?
Coming in, and now a chance on second and goal from the 4. A little confusion on the Rutgers side. Gardner on the keep, trying to get to the edge. Touchdown, Michigan! What a start for Michigan on the road and quarterback Devin Gardner.
Kevin, it looked like Julian Penix-Odrick played everything perfectly. He maintained his force leverage, but speed kills, and Devin Gardner just completely outran him to the pylon.
Yeah, he runs pretty well for a guy that's 6'4", 216 pounds.
Extra point is good. 10-6 lead for Michigan early in this second quarter. He has come out like a man possessed tonight.
You know, we talked about in the open how much pressure this guy and criticism he's been under. Don't you just love when guys show some resiliency and come out and play like this?
Yeah, resiliency, and we talked about, hey, go out and just have fun. I tell you, Devin Gardner looks like he's having a lot of fun. You mentioned last week, Kevin, and Brady Hoke talked about it. Listen, we benched Devin Gardner, not because of his performance so much, but we wanted him to get a breather. And I think that it's really shown to help him. Granted, the game last week didn't work out so well for Michigan, but Devin Gardner seems to be much more poised, and he's accurate.
That voice you hear, Sean O'Hara, Glenn Mason up here as well. I'm Kevin Kugler, Lisa Byington with us on the field here at Piscataway, our entire BTN crew. Thrilled to be with you tonight for what's been a very entertaining start to this ball game.
Yeah, Brady said we benched Gardner, but we also benched Tom Brady back in the day. I thought, big mistake.
A lot of people made mistakes on Tom Brady.
At the 25 on first down. Nova back to the air. Nova looking deep, and it's incomplete. A chance for a giant play with Leonte Carew back out on the field.
Well, this is classic Ralph Friedgen. I told you, if they get press coverage, he's going to work that guy and he's going to go deep. And his philosophy is, even if it doesn't work, I want to scare the guys and let them know that we're not afraid to throw it downtown.
That was a great route.
Just missed by Carew as we check in with Lisa Byington.
Well, immediately when the Rutgers athletic training staff took Carew down to the sideline here, they were doing a lot of different head injury tests, asked him a lot of different questions. They did that for a couple minutes. Then they took him for about 5 minutes in the training room. They wouldn't confirm to me what kind of tests they were giving him there, but he was not limping out here on the sideline, and he looked alert the entire time after he came out after that hard hit.
Well, you know that the testing is extremely thorough, especially in the wake of what happened last week for Michigan. It's prompted schools all across the country to reevaluate exactly what they're doing.
I guarantee you they all sat down and said, let's look what we're doing to make sure we're doing the right thing.
Third down and 11 at the 24, and Nova was creeping back early before he got the snap.
False start, offense, number 10, 5-yard penalty. It remains third down.
Don't see a lot of false starts on the quarterback, but here's one.
Yeah,
about 3 little steps.
Just rocking a little bit. It's hard to tell if he was expecting the ball a little bit sooner, didn't get back to him. But going back to what you said about the protocol, you know, for all these players, now with the new protocol with concussions, there's a baseline test that you have to go through, and that's how they determine whether you're off.
Third down and 16. Nova gonna run. Nova got the first down, just shy of the 40-yard line. He needed 16, and he scrambled all the way to the 39-yard line.
Hey, Nova said, hey, Devin Gardner's not the only one who can run around here. I'm a pretty good athlete. If you don't contain me, I am not averse to putting that ball into my arm and running. And I like how he runs it. Look, makes a little move. Wow. He knows where the first down is, and he's not going to down until he gets it.
How about the juke move we put on Joe Bolden right there? Joe Bolden's a stud at linebacker.
Grant in motion. Running room shut down. Speaking of that stud linebacker, there was Joe Bolden. He wasn't going to get juked a second time by a Rutgers player, and he drove right into Peoples.
Yeah, he was in proper position for the cutback run, and he had his shoulders down and square, and no hidden yards there.
You know, we talked to Greg Madison, the defensive coordinator from Michigan, about Joe Bolden. Joe is the guy that gets the call in from the defense coordinator. He gets everybody lined up. Jake Ryan, I mean, he's the more notorious linebacker of the two, but they were really impressed with how well Joe Bolden's been playing this year.
Bolden had a career-high 10 tackles a week ago. On second down, trying to pick his way forward, and Desmond Peoples not finding much running room. Weeknights join the conversation on BTN Live. It's the most comprehensive nightly college football discussion from the guys who love to talk about the game. BTN Live, weeknights at 6 Eastern on BTN.
You mentioned Jake Ryan, the middle linebacker. You know, he used to play outside. They moved him inside, and when Brady Hoke talks about him, he says he's unorthodox. I'm not sure what that means, but he said he makes a lot of plays.
3rd down and 8. 4-man rush. Nova going to run again. And Nova just tripped up shy of a 1st down. Caught at the 47. Bolden and Ryan combined on the stop. And now Rutgers 2 yards short of a 1st down, facing 4th. And the offense has not budged yet.
Well, I love to go for on 4th down, but this situation, I'm going to punt it away.
And that's what's going to happen on the Rutgers side.
Well, Kyle Flood is aggressive. He's been known to go for it on 4th down, like you're saying, Coach. But, I mean, if I'm the head coach right here, I say, hey, let's go with a little hard count here on the punt team, because 4th and 2, all it takes is a 5-yard penalty to get an easy 1st down right here.
Michigan takes the timeout. They have 1 remaining here in this 1st half. 10:46 to go in the 1st half. I'd like to announce Glenn Mason's return to coaching, provided he can get all 5 of those players on his squad. 4th down and the punt. Norfleet fielding it at the 4. Norfleet in trouble. And Norfleet down at the 10-yard line. Already a little higher scoring in this one. Kyle Flood's trying to get the crowd involved with Michigan pinned deep in their own end at the 10-yard line. Derek Green, the running back, gets the carry, and Green a half-yard, and that's all. Knifing in to make the play was Nadir Barnwell from the secondary, and it's 2nd down.
Kevin, great job by Nadir Barnwell. He's covering Funchess, but he is also the run support as the force defender. He does a great job, as you said, knifing into the backfield to make a big tackle. Yeah, Barnwell's getting this start tonight over Chaffee, who's been playing good football, but he's a little banged up. So you get your opportunity to play, you make the best of it. Yeah, they've been banged up across this secondary, Coach.
2nd down and 9 at the 11. From the pistol, Gardner will throw. Pressure coming. Gardner with a flag down, throws, and on the sideline, the catch is made by J.U. Chesson. That flag down back at the 9 behind the play. Completion picked up 6 yards.
Personal foul, hands to the face. Defense, number 50. 15-yard penalty results in an automatic 1st down.
2nd time tonight Rutgers has been called for the personal foul, hands to the face.
Let's see if we get a good look at it here. Yeah, right there. Quentin Gauze, number 50. On the center, Jack Miller, you can see it. His right hand just comes right
you
up,
see it right there, right in the middle. Hands under the face mask. You're going to call it? They should call it.
So move it out to the 32. That digs Michigan out of the hole. And with 9:40 to go in the 1st half, 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Gardner floats it for Norfleet, who's got it out of bounds at the 48-yard line of Rutgers. Nice touch again from Devin Gardner. Quentin Gauze out there on the coverage, but a 20-yard pickup for Michigan.
Well, you'll see.
Michigan hurrying up to the line. And now they'll take some time and get it from the sideline. A little different tempo tonight for Michigan. Green had a crease, a flag down, Green down at the 40, an 8-yard gain.
Holding, offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
That is the first Michigan penalty in you could hear the cheer from the crowd celebrating the flag against the Wolverines.
Yeah, it's true freshman Mason Cole right here. He's going to get called as the running back. Goes by him right here. He's got a hold of that shoulder pad right there, Coach. Pretty easy call for the official.
Yeah, he got called for holding it. Dennis Norfleet, the little guy, he did a heck of a job sustaining that block. We used to call it a pack your lunch. That's an all-day block out there.
Gotta love receivers. They go down and make a big catch, and then they're not scared to come in there and block for you, too.
First down and 20. Back at the Michigan 42-yard line. Funches at the top of your screen is Gardner under some late pressure, and it's just knocked away from J.U. Chesson. Garif Glashan, who batted one down in the opener in the end zone against Washington State. The stakes a little higher at that moment in that first game, but he comes up with the bat here.
Well, if I'm Doug Nussmeier right here, I'm saying, hold on here a second, fellow. I see 1, 2, 3 black shirts there and only 1 white shirt. Now you're playing well, but let's gear it down here a little bit.
Yeah, give credit to Garif Glashan. That wasn't even his guy. He was running with the receiver up the sideline, fell off in coverage, almost had an interception right there. And really, that's the first questionable throw that we could say about Devin Gardner tonight.
It's been a solid night for number 98 so far. 2nd and 20. Gardner under pressure, able to get away. Gardner making something out of nothing and gets a good gain into Rutgers territory at the 44-yard line. Kevin Snyder chased him out. Justice Hayes providing a block on the edge to spring him on the scramble for 14.
What a great juke move right here. You're going to see Kimoko Toure right there with the juke move. Coach, we've talked about how athletic this quarterback is. He demonstrated it right there. Kimoko Toure has 5 sacks on the season.
Yeah, if there's one guy that you would think off the Rutgers defense would have made that play, it was him.
Yeah.
Under pressure, 13 dropbacks, 5 hurries, 3 knockdown, 1 sack tonight. And Michigan going to take their final timeout to talk about this 3rd down and 6 play at the Rutgers 44-yard line.
Make your read, don't force it.
Funches the motion man for Michigan. Gardner under pressure, hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. A.J. Williams, the intended receiver. Gardner had the heat in his face the minute he took the snap, and Kimoko Toure is the guy who knocked him down as he threw the football.
Kevin, they brought the house to the right side. You're going to see, I mean, look at all these blitzes right here. Kimoko Toure with the big hit right there. And I tell you what, if you're going to let somebody go, let the little guy go, Coach. Don't let the defensive end guy go. The right tackle fanned out to block the little DB.
I hear you.
Auger up to punt. Grant back. He'll let it sail over his head and into the end zone for the touchback. 7:35 remaining in the first half. Kimoko Toure acquainting himself with Devin Gardner on that last series, providing some late heat. 5 sacks this season to lead the Big Ten, and his pressure forces the incompletion. And now his offense back on the field at the 20-yard line to start things off down 4. Play action. Nova with late pressure, airing it deep. He's got Terzilli wide open at the 40. Terzilli in a foot race. He's going to win the race and give Rutgers the lead. 80 yards. Nova to Terzilli, and Rutgers in front. Last week it was a 93-yarder between Nova and Terzilli. This week it's 80, but it counts the same.
Well, I told you about Ralph Friedgen. He likes to throw it downtown. Last week the 93-yarder was about a 15-yard pass, and he ran with it. That was going for the fence right there. Terzilli, the transfer from Kansas.
And the extra point blocked, hit the bar, and fell short. Michigan comes up with a big play on special teams, getting the block of the extra point. And give credit to Maurice Hurst, who comes up with the blocked extra point.
I can't believe, I mean, he got a little bit of penetration there, Sean, and he really didn't get up that high. That ball must have been hit low.
I agree. It looked like a low kick. Only must have had the 4-iron. You need the pitching wedge on the PAT, Coach. There wasn't a lot of penetration.
Someone must have been talking to you about my golf game. Let's watch the touchdown.
What a throw, Coach. I mean, it's all starts with the play action. We talked about it, about the run game, but great route by Terzilli, great ball by Nova. He throws that ball in the middle of the field, lets the receiver run under it. And, Coach, what a great story about Andrew Terzilli.
Yeah, he's
transferred from Kansas.
Graduated from Kansas. Becomes immediately eligible here in graduate school. He's from Butler, New Jersey.
Yes. He said his parents and his family never got to see him play at Kansas. But being from Butler, New Jersey, this is right in his backyard.
And he finished with a little Kansas Jayhawk-esque basketball shot at the end of the touchdown. For the 11th time in his career, Gary Nova with a touchdown pass of at least 60 yards. 12-10 advantage for Rutgers. Short kickoff. Norfleet from the 8. Norfleet to the 20. And Norfleet gives Michigan decent field position at the 26-yard line, where Devin Gardner and company will go back to work. Jacobs on the tackle for Rutgers.
Let's not forget, Michigan is the 9th ranked defense nationally. Wow. You got to be impressed with Rutgers doing so far.
217 yards total offense for Rutgers in this first half. At the 26-yard line on first down. Derek Green, the running back, next to Gardner. And the slant dropped by Norfleet at the 35-yard line. And Andre Hunt, talk about good stories, Andre Hunt, the freshman walk-on the coverage.
Yeah, I love these stories. He came here from Cretin-Durham High School in St. Paul, Minnesota. He had a knee injury in high school. No one recruited him. He bounced around. He went to a community college that didn't even play football. He had a walk-on invitation to Iowa. At the last minute, they yanked it. His father, Leon, played running back at Wisconsin. He was from New Jersey. Leon's high school coach says, I think I know a guy who will come to Rutgers as a walk-on. The rest is history.
And he came as a running back. They moved him to safety in bowl week, and he hadn't played defense since Pop Warner. But he gets the nod tonight as Green going to work on second down. A flag is down as Green's got the first down to the 37-yard line. 11-yard gain. Andre Hunt, as we spoke of him, makes the tackle. But the flag's going to march this one back. J.U. Chesson was in the area of the flag.
Holding offense, number 67, 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
Now Kalis, the offensive lineman there, and gets the call. Hard to tell.
Yeah, you get the hands outside, and that's what they're looking for.
I thought the penalty was on J.U. Chesson, like you said, number 86.
Second and 19 after the penalty back at the 17-yard line. Justice Hayes in at running back. Gardner under pressure again. The screen to Hayes with blockers in front. Hayes tripped up as he gets to the 28-yard line. It's a pretty good tackle by Quentin Gauze, because if Gauze doesn't make that stop, there's another 8 or 9 yards out there for Hayes.
Yeah, Rutgers was a little slow to react. As you get in that free, there's something wrong. You got to turn, retrace your steps, and get back downfield. Normally the defensive lineman will stop that play by retracing their steps. A little slow to get there.
Third down and 8. 28-yard line of Michigan. Out of timeouts, and the play clock at 10. Gardner, blitz coming. Gardner gonna run. Gardner not gonna run far enough as he's dropped in front of the line of scrimmage by a yard, and the pressure by Rutgers will force the punt. Turay and Penix-Ondrick combine to stop Devin Gardner.
Well, credit Rutgers. Once again, they did a fine job of containing that quarterback, so if he pulls the ball down, he's not going to run any place.
Coach, they look like they brought pressure from the boundary. It looked like the free safety and the corner. A little weak cowboy blitz there.
Low snap. Hogerup gets it off. Janarian Grant going to let it roll. And what a roll it's going to take for Michigan. Dennis Norfleet trying to encourage the ball to roll even deeper. BTN football tonight. Key clash between Michigan and Rutgers, and a good ball game between these two squads in the first half. Great crowd on hand here at Piscataway, and a 12-10 lead for the home team after the home run ball of 80 yards from Gary Nova to Andrew Terzilli.
Well, the home run ball has been there one time for a touchdown. Remember the other one when they dropped.
Now watch Norfleet. Go to your home. Go to your home, ball. You want to go to your home.
Too good for your home? Hey, Norfleet does it all. I mean, what doesn't he do for Michigan?
He's the football whisperer. At the 12-yard line, first down. Nova with the screen. Peoples got a block. Desmond Peoples down the sideline. Turn it on the Jets and chased out of bounds by Jeremy Clark. Desmond Peoples all the way out to the 43, a 31-yard gain on the play.
Sean, you know if you want to help your offensive lineman, go ahead and run some screens. Then those pass rushers will slow down. And we talked about how effective Minnesota was with a similar type screen just a week ago.
They mark him out at the 45, officially a 33-yard pickup. Desmond Peoples. Nova to the air again and dropped by Grant at the 47-yard line. He could feel Jared Wilson closing very quickly.
Well, you see, he's looking here, and what he's reading is the flat slant. He's going to throw the slant first if it's open. If it's not, he's going to go to the flat. He'd much rather throw the slant, though. It's a lot safer throw.
You know, quick throws like that, Coach, they're almost like a run play because the ball's coming out so quick. It's such an easy little route. Usually it's a routine pitch and catch right there.
2nd and 10 at the 45. Saw the numbers on Nova a moment ago. 7 completions for 207 yards. Nova to the air again. And he just threw that one away. Carew in the area, but he didn't see that running lane open that he's had a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, it looked like he really wanted to run with that football. And as he started to scramble, he saw the linebacker sitting right there. Hey, last second, I'll throw this one out of bounds.
It's Greg Madison, defensive coordinator for Michigan. Gary Nova this season in his 4 wins for the completion percentage and the yards per attempt. That Penn State game, the anomaly. 5 interceptions. And you and I were talking earlier this week, Glenn Mason, not all 5 of those are on Gary Nova's shoulders.
No, I've been defending him because we were here. The first one was a fine pass right off the receiver's hands that were intercepted. The second one, the running back lineup as a wide receiver didn't look for the ball. At the end of the game, one was desperation.
Timeout taken by Rutgers, up 2. Rutgers fans feeling good right now. Their team's up 2, 12-10. Gary Nova, 5 of his 7 completions have gone for 10 or more yards. 53, 24, 11, 80, and 33.
Last time in this situation, they went to fire screen. Safe, big reward type play.
3rd down and 10. Nova does not have an interception on 3rd down this year. And the pass incomplete, looking for Grant. And that'll bring up 4th down. Jordan Lewis on the coverage of Janarian Grant.
Michigan dropped back in coverage. You could see here they only rushed 3 defenders. They were not going to let Gary Nova have another completion over 10 yards, Kevin.
Yeah, they weren't real happy there. They thought they had a holding call. They thought Jordan Lewis, the cornerback, had his hands all over that receiver. Looked like it to me, too.
Norfleet waiting the Tim Gleason punt. And it's a fake. They'll throw it back to Gleason. Gleason trying to get to the edge, and he will not get there. Delonte Hollowell on the tackle. Rutgers with a trick play that Michigan snuffs out.
Why would you do that right now, Coach?
Well, when they used to ask me that, I used to say if I knew it wasn't going to work, I wouldn't have called it. I did it because I thought I had something. You know, and coaches just don't do that to go, oh, I'll try this. They see something on film and they really believe it's going to work.
Yeah, but if it's 4th and 5, okay. But to expect your punter to be able to outrun the defense for 10 yards, I don't like that call.
The fullback, Michael Burton, with the toss. And now on first down, here's Norfleet. Norfleet to the 35 and brought down 1.5 yards shy of the first by Lorenzo Waters.
Well, I'll tell you who did a fine job on that play was the linebacker Quentin Gauze, because he kept working for leverage and he forced the play back inside where they had a chance to make the tackle.
Well, yeah, now the momentum is completely shifted. In college football, it's all about momentum. Rutgers had it. If you were going to call that fake punt, how about on the 4th and 2? You call it then. Maybe your punter has a chance, but instead, now Michigan has the ball. They're threatening to score.
I take it you didn't like that call, huh?
Nope.
Second down and 2, and the hole closes on Davion Smith quickly by Lorenzo Waters once again. 2 big tackles by the strong safety. Very close to the first down. One more look at the fake punt.
Well, you look at it right here. You know, they're going to run way over here, then throw it way back over there. That takes a long time to develop, and obviously Michigan didn't go for the bait, and I agree with you. It's a bad call. You've convinced me.
I like the aggressiveness, but Rutgers defense has been playing so well. I don't think you needed to do that at that moment.
And that resulted in a first down. The previous play is under further review.
Now they gave a first down to Michigan on that last carry, and now they're going to look at it to judge if the spot got to the line to gain.
Let me ask you something, Sean. If that fake punt would have gone for a touchdown, what would you have said?
I would say gutsy call.
There you go.
Holy
That's
cow,
what I'm talking about. You're playing to win, right?
Did he get to the first down marker is the question being asked right now in the replay booth. Lorenzo Waters doesn't think so. Davion Smith certainly does. Now they needed to get to the 33-yard line. Does he get it there? And these are awfully hard to gauge. This will be a good angle. Let's see.
Just short. It's close. I think they mark it at
it's a great look.
Football short.
Here's the high shot.
I want you to watch this, though. At least they're taking the wide receiver and going down and cracking on the safety, which we used to call most dangerous man.
Down, Michigan.
And it stands as called. It's a first down. Indisputable video evidence is the standard required to overturn a call on the field.
As I say, Michigan's cracking for the safety. They did not do that against Minnesota a week ago. They looked at the film, they made some adjustments. Now, he didn't get there, but he has to get there on that run. Force the corner to make the play, not the safety.
Good point, Coach.
At the 33, first down. Motion from Hill. Gardner stepping up, floating it for his tight end. It is caught. It is J.U. Chesson with the grab at the 5-yard line. And it's first and goal, Michigan, as Gardner floats it 28 yards between Stevenson and Waters to J.U. Chesson.
You know, that's right. He floats it in there. Watch the throwing motion right here. He doesn't really throw that with a lot of confidence. He does. He floats it in there.
It's hard to tell the running back in there. There he is, number 4. Davion Smith did a great job picking up the blitz. Rutgers brought the house again, and Devin Gardner stood in the pocket and delivered a strike.
First and goal at the 5. Chesson in motion. Smith to carry. Davion Smith down at the 2-yard line. Quentin Gauze on the tackle. Second and goal. Michigan right back to the line. Gardner on the sneak. Spins, is driven forward, and he is stopped just short by Stevenson. And it'll be third down. Great angle. Look where the ball is.
Michigan has really been good in the red zone. That's a big quarterback. I like the call. They don't get it in, but I like the call. They've been really good in the red zone. They just haven't been in the red zone enough this year.
Yeah, I like the hurry up. You know, you're trying to catch Rutgers defense sleeping with the quarterback sneak. Give credit to DeLon Stevenson for coming up and delivering a thump.
Extra lineman in the backfield. Hurst providing the blocking, and he follows Smith, and Smith with the touchdown. Davey on Smith, right behind the big man into the end zone, and Michigan is right back on top.
Now this is Michigan football. They've always been an off-tackle power team. You see the block down, the kick out, the lead blocker. That's just hard football right there, and that's really what Michigan needs to get back on track.
Now Matt Weil for the extra point. And a 17-12 lead for Michigan with 1:43 remaining in the first half. And after that failed trick play, Michigan takes 6 plays to go 43 yards and regain the lead with the touchdown.
I mean, that was the momentum changer for that Michigan needed. And Ken Ferrigno, the special teams coach, he deserves a lot of the credit because they stayed home. Everybody did their job. And as you mentioned, they had that play worked out, completely different ball game, but give credit to them because that was a huge stand for them.
Yeah, because the element of surprise was there. As you mentioned, I don't think anybody thought here comes the fake. If it would have been a 4th and 1, you'd say, oh, you know, maybe. But they react out there and they hustle right down the line. And, you know, it took a lot of time for that ball even to get back to the line of scrimmage. Yeah. You know, a lot of times the throwback to the quarterback will be like a wheel route going down the sideline.
Yeah, and that was Michael Burton, the fullback, who was in there as the personal protector. You're asking a fullback who doesn't normally make those type of throws, Kevin, and, you know, too much air on the ball. I mean, there's too many things that could go wrong. I would have rather seen Michael Burton try to run for it himself. Probably have a better shot of that succeeding than throwing it back to your punter. I'm just saying. Punters are people too, I know.
Janarian Grant, 8.5 yards deep, will take the knee. 1:43 and 1 timeout for Rutgers to work with. Nova on first down and a sliding grab at the 30-yard line. A pickup of 5 for John Simmons.
Well, if you're Michigan, Greg Madison's telling everybody, just keep everybody in front of you.
A lot of confusion as Nova fires to the sideline. The pass is caught by Tyler Croft, the tight end, and a first down out of bounds at the 36. Michigan had players scrambling all over the field trying to get set as Nova snapped it.
A lot of time, 1 timeout left.
From the 36, 4-man pressure, swing pass out of the backfield, and Goodwin down the sideline. Justin Goodwin picks up yardage to the 40-yard line. 4-yard pickup for Goodwin.
You know, it's not a bad call right here, Sean, is, you know, Michigan's playing back. They got those 2 high safeties. That means they can't have an extra guy in the box. Go ahead and call a run, see what happens.
I'm all for it. I mean, there's plenty of time. 1:18, college football, they stop the clock on a first down. That's tons of time.
2nd and 6, Nova under pressure again, trying to find Tyler Croft, who wasn't looking for it. By the time he turned around, that ball had sailed to the sideline.
Yeah. You see Tyler Croft, he was been a little banged up, but he's back, and a little bit different year. This, you know, last year he was the leading receiver. He had 43 receptions and just not getting the ball to him this year.
Yeah, he's frustrated, and he's getting a lot more attention. You know, you had 43 catches the year before, and now all of a sudden you're going to start getting double covered.
3rd and 6, Nova over the middle, caught by Grant. Grant with a miss. Grant, another move, dodging inside the 40. Grant inside the 35, and Janarian Grant all the way down to the 33 of Michigan. 27-yard pickup.
Get that kid the football more. I mean, he's their punt returner, he's their kickoff returner, but you get him in space, and wow, he's really showing his ability to make defenders miss.
Under a minute to go, first half. Rutgers down 5. Nova to the sideline, and a diving catch, and out of bounds now, incomplete. John Simmons, the pass is incomplete, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Let's watch it here. There's a little discussion on the sideline.
Ooh, that's close. They got to look at that. Does that left toe drag just a little bit?
They got to look at it.
The field is an incomplete pass.
I think it's a catch.
I think that left toe, it looks like he has possession and his left toe is dragging.
Ruling on the field was an incomplete pass. The previous play is under further review.
They're going to look at this again.
Watch that left toe right there. All right. He's got possession right now. It looks like he just dragged a little bit.
I'm saying that's a catch.
Do we have a
agreement? The other thing they always look at is, does he have possession? He's got that pinned against his body.
When does he have it? He can rock it back a little bit. Right there, he's got it right now, and that left foot is still down. Not the right foot, but the left foot's down right there, that toe. I don't think the right foot gets down, but I think that left foot is down as soon as he assumes possession.
Nova on the drive before this play, 4 for 6 for 42 yards. Gary Nova, 249 yards so far tonight. We'll see what happens here on this review.
Right there, that left toe is down. Clearly right there, looks like he has possession.
Does he have possession as the toe is down?
Right now, possession. I think that's a catch.
So close.
Is there enough to overturn it?
Right, indisputable evidence.
Here's the ruling.
After further review, the receiver did have possession in the toe and bound. Completed pass at the 21-yard line on the left edge. The catch was out of bounds. The clock will start on the snap.
Everything going right for Rutgers on that play. Simmons the catch, out of bounds, stopping the clock.
And we all think they really got it right there.
Yeah, good job by the officials.
At the 21-yard line, 1st down and 10. Justin Goodwin still in at running back. Nova for the end zone and incomplete. He was looking for Grant. He also had Terzilli right in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, they were too close to each other. It looked like somebody might have run the wrong route, because whenever you have two receivers that close to each other, you've got more defenders. And they're both running post right in the middle of the field, Coach.
You know, you don't know, but if I had to guess, Terzilli should have broke underneath there, and then you had one man in the middle.
He breaks it
Michigan
off,
only rushed 3.
Yeah. The safety would have had to run with him if he ran across.
Nice play by Jared Wilson to get a fingertip on it. Nova gonna run. No, he flips it forward. And some running room for Goodwin, who's got a 1st down at the 7-yard line. Frank Clark caught him from behind. Nova with some improv picks up 14 yards on the flip to Justin Goodwin.
Oh, I love it. It's just like playing down at the Sandlot, baby. I've done that a million times as a kid.
Little shovel pass, Coach, just the way you draw it up, right?
Rutgers uses its final timeout to stop the clock with 37 seconds to go, and it's 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. This is going back a little bit, but this is the play that kind of got things rolling. And that's Grant.
Like you said, you think this guy is an athlete. Man, look at those moves. And you know, when you look at it, in high school he played quarterback, running back, wide receiver, defensive back, punt and kickoff return.
Yeah, the guy's special.
Wow.
The first touch of his college career, he takes to the house on a kickoff return against Fresno State last year.
Not just any kickoff return, 100 yards.
100 yards, that's a long way. But he shows the explosiveness. We know he has speed and he's quick, but how about the power finishing that tackle?
How close was Nova to the line of scrimmage here before the flip?
Now, I think his entire body has to be across the line of scrimmage in order for that to count as across the line of scrimmage. So even if his foot is still on the line, it's not a penalty.
First down and goal at the 7. 37 seconds to work with here. Rutgers down 5. Grant in motion. Nova pumps, throws for Grant, and it's too tall, incomplete.
Oh, he had him. He was going back to the guy we were just talking about, Janarian Grant. I like the play call from Ralph Friedgen because he brought Janarian Grant in motion, and the defender ran with him. So that tells Gary Nova it's man coverage.
Oh, he'd like to have that one back wide open, and he kind of double pumped it and just tried to lay it in there. And
just
oh man!
Then Jake Ryan got a hand on it, and so did Leonte Carew.
And so did the goalpost.
Second and goal at the 7. It's Grant in motion. Nova rolling that direction, throws on the run, and it's incomplete. Grant again the intended target. Now 3rd and goal at the 7.
Now they move the pocket, which is a good thought. Really no pressure. Wouldn't have been a touchdown, but it could have been a catch.
Yeah, well, and if he caught it, now you're up against the clock.
Yeah, well, you got 28 seconds. We're okay there.
Third and goal at the 7. Blitz up the middle. Nova in all kinds of trouble. Got rid of it, and it's a touchdown. How did he get rid of that football? Gary Nova gives Rutgers the lead. John Simis on the receiving end, but that play was all about number 10, Gary Nova.
I think it's Frank Clark right up the middle.
Yeah.
We talked about him at the top of the broadcast as one of the impact players. Almost a big impact. Now they're going to make sure that this one was caught by Simis across the goal line. Did he secure it with Countess on his hip?
You can't see anything. It looks like he's got it.
Yeah, it looks like he has it. From this angle.
Yeah, Madison dialed
left
up.
arm, you can see that left arm is underneath the football.
I don't think it's enough to overturn it. Let's put it that way.
No,
you know?
I agree with you.
But you talk about Madison, he dials up the maximum blitz, the exotic blitz. He's got Frank Clark coming right up the middle. They can't block him. There's too many guys. You know, it's a numbers game. There's only so many guys to block. And Nova, you talk about a cool customer. Is that what, number 63 now, touchdowns?
Wow.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is confirmed.
Not only not enough to overturn it, they have confirmed that John Simis came up with the touchdown catch.
I don't know how you let Frank Clark run right up the middle of your offense. He's a defensive end. You have to account for him, but great job by Gary Nova to avoid that and make that throw. Spectacular play.
High snap, gets it down, and the kick is good.
Ooh.
That is a tremendous job on the hold by Mike Bamonte, the backup quarterback, who saves Rutgers a point there.
And the missed extra point looms big right now.
No question about that.
Yeah, when do you go for 2 now, Coach? It's too early now, obviously.
But you talk about not picking that blitz up right. I can tell you that Mitch Browning, their offensive line coach, he's already got those guys over there. We haven't seen this blitz. We haven't seen Clark in there, but next time he's in there, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Well, as a coach, when you see a quarterback running back like that with the defender, you're saying, oh no, because the last thing you want to do in that situation with no timeouts is take a sack.
Yeah, and I don't want to be out of field goal range either.
You don't want to get out of field goal range.
14 of 25, 282, 2 touchdowns, 1 stiff arm of a defensive end to stave off a sack and throw a touchdown pass.
Well, I'll tell you, Gary Nova and Devin Gardner, they have a couple of things in common. Gary Nova was benched last year. He's playing really well tonight. Devin Gardner was benched a couple weeks ago. He's playing really well tonight. They both have been elusive, but they both have been very accurate throwing the football.
And most importantly, we got us a game here in Piscataway, New Jersey,
this
baby.
Is fun.
Oh, man, this place is rocking. You know what this place reminds me of? is Kinnick Stadium at Iowa. They're close to the field, stands go up, people are really into it.
22 seconds until halftime, and the short kickoff fielded at the 19-yard line. Not a lot of room to run for Lewis. One more look at this extra point. What a hold by Bimonte.
Wow. I mean, that's a high heater right there. I think I mentioned his name last time, but Mike Jones, he was my holder when I was here at Rutgers. I gave him a couple of those fastballs. Give credit to that holder for getting the snap down and not giving him the laces. Wait
a minute, you told me weeks ago that you never had a bad snap in your life.
I know, I said I never had a bad snap, but it was a little high.
At the 24, and Derek Green is popping up the middle to the 31-yard line. Remember, no timeouts remain for Michigan. Our Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report is straight ahead. Plenty to talk about, not only from this game, but around the Big Ten. And the guys are ready to do just that at our studios in Chicago. But halftime is here, and what a first half it has been at High Point Solutions Stadium. Back and forth between Michigan and Rutgers. Their first ever meeting, and so far a very memorable one, as Rutgers takes a 19-17 lead into the locker room at halftime.
Taking care of the football has helped them. I have to imagine getting the ball to start the game and going down, getting points, had to give this team some confidence. I thought they did a great job handling that momentum, and then of course after the fake punt to go down and score a touchdown, that was huge for them as well.
Grant from the 6-yard line on the hopping kickoff, and Janarian Grant at the 20 with a flag flying in. Ben Gideon on the tackle. The flag on the near sideline away from where the tackle was made.
During the return, illegal block in the back above the waist. Return team, number 50, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Quentin Gauze called for the illegal block, and problems for Rutgers. They'll start deep in their own end, and you see where Rutgers started in that first half. Pretty good drives. The fake punt ending one of the two that came up empty.
Yeah, I mean, a questionable call there just from a timing standpoint, but give credit to Rutgers for finding a way to get points on the board. They start out with a field goal to start the game, but boy, I tell you, Gary Nova has done a great job with the explosive plays and getting himself out of pressure when Michigan has brought the blitz.
Worst starting field position of the night for Rutgers. After the penalty from their own 9-yard line. Desmond Peoples trying to get the ground game going, and he takes it to the 12. Joe Bolden on the tackle.
It'll be interesting if Rutgers gains a little field position here, if they'll go back to up-tempo, 2-minute offense type thing. The way they moved the ball down in that last series was really impressive.
Yeah, I think looking at the stats, what's really impressive is Gary Nova is Rutgers' leading rusher right now with 26 yards. Desmond Peoples, he only has 2 yards on 5 carries. I think they want to get him going.
Peoples again, little counter action. Hurdles a man in the backfield but cannot turn it upfield. James Ross got into the backfield, forcing Peoples to jump up into the air. Jake Ryan came over to finish him off. So now third down at the 11-yard line. They need to get just shy of the 20 for the first down.
Well, this is exactly what Coach Hoke was talking about with Lisa. We have to do a better job on third down, get off the field.
Third and 8. Nova under pressure. He's sacked. Michigan got him. Taco Charlton, who had his second career sack last week, gets to Nova here on third down.
Yeah, it's just a simple TE twist right here. You're going to see the defensive end come underneath. They don't pick it up cleanly, and it's pressure right now at Gary Nova. You see Betum Bajari, the center, coming over. The defender's on his edge, and he cannot make that block right there. That's exactly what Brady Hoke talked about coming out of halftime. Dialing up pressure. They didn't call a blitz there. They only rushed 4, but when you could get pressure with just 4, that's huge for your defense.
Only had 10 sacks, did Michigan, in the first 5 games. A big one there, forcing the Gleason punt from his own end zone. Norfleet. It gets by him and takes a good Rutgers roll out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Norfleet got caught in between. Do I field or do I let it bounce? And it bounced away from
he's not
Norfleet.
happy about it either.
Well, he isn't, but the most important thing, he should have fair caught that and got under it, not let the ball hit the ground. But the most important thing on a punt return, again, is if that down's over, we still have the ball. When in doubt, if I'm not really sure, you got to pull off.
Yeah, it's better to do that than to come rush and all of a sudden now you kick it or it's a turnover, because that's a big stop by Michigan's defense right there to get the football at the 40-yard line. Still not that bad.
Yeah, even with that punt roll, Michigan in good shape at the 41. Gardner going to throw on first down. Blitz up the middle. Gardner in trouble and he's sacked. Third time tonight, Rutgers has gotten to the quarterback, Steve Longa, the first one to get to Devin Gardner.
Well, Stevie Longa is going to come right up the chute. Looked like they brought a cross dog in here. A couple guys here. Stevie Longa is going to rush right up the gut. Right there, unblocked, untouched. The left guard picks his guy up. The running back picks his guy up. But Stevie Longa, that's one of the easiest sacks he'll have, unblocked. Devin Gardner didn't stand a chance.
You remember when I talked to Joe Rossi and I said, hey, are you nervous about pressuring a quarterback like Devin Gardner? He goes, not if I put him on his back, I'm not.
He's not running there.
It's hard to throw.
2nd and 23. Gardner flushed again. Gardner with some running room this time, and he's out near the 39-yard line, tackled by Lorenzo Waters. So we got most of it back, a gain of 11. Devin Gardner under pressure tonight, and he has worked and operated under pressure for a good portion of the night.
It really is amazing to see how many times he has been sacked, given how athletic he is.
3rd down and 12. Jonathan Aiken in the secondary now for Rutgers. Remember, he missed the first half after the targeting call last week. Kicked him out of that game and missed the first half with the suspension tonight. 3rd and 12. Pressure again. Gardner throws, and it's incomplete. He wanted J.U. Chesson. There was contact. Chesson thought there should be a flag, as did Brady Hoke. Garif Glashin, the defender.
Well, Rutgers brought 6 rushers, so he had to get rid of it rather quickly. And he had a chance. You can see here comes all 6 guys just straight rushing.
Boy, I tell you, Garif Glashin got away with one there. It looked like he got there just before the ball did. The Michigan sideline, they were uproared, rightfully so.
Grant awaiting the punt, calls the fair catch and makes it at the 21-yard line. So Rutgers defense holds after the Michigan stop. Each team has exchanged a punt in this 3rd quarter, and now the Rutgers offense will head back onto the field. Rutgers' 2nd possession of the 2nd half, starting from their 22-yard line. Nova under some heat, and he's sacked back at the 10-yard line. Willie Henry got him. The 2nd time tonight, Michigan has sacked Gary Nova.
Looked like they brought the Sam Mike blitz off the strong side. You can see Jake Ryan pressuring, but almost got away with a face mask right here. It looks like he grabbed the face mask. They did not see it. Watch his left hand as he comes down on Gary Nova right there. Looks like he might have gotten a little.
Henry left the field like he was favoring the hand that he grabbed Nova with. Here's Carew fighting for extra yardage out near the 23. Raymond Taylor with the tackle. 13-yard pickup on the play. You see Willie Henry being tended to on the sideline.
Yeah, look at that. Watch that left hand right there. I don't know if it gets caught in the face mask or the ear hole of the helmet. Maybe it was his thumb.
Normally when you see the head get whipped around like that, the official throws the flag.
Yeah.
3rd and 9 at the 23. 4-man pressure over the middle. Breaking tackles and a first down and more. All the way out to midfield is Tyler Croft. They'll mark him officially at the 49, a 26-yard gain and a first down.
Well, we were talking about where's Tyler Croft, and you mentioned it, Sean. Sooner or later, they're going to forget about him. This guy's a dangerous weapon.
Yeah, he shows exactly why he's been getting so much attention. He's been getting double covered with a linebacker trailing underneath him. They have safety help over the top a lot of times to take him away. Great yards after catch right there for Tyler Croft.
Sixth time in his career, Gary Nova has eclipsed the 300-yard mark passing on first down, and a little bit of running room ends quickly for Justin Goodwin as he gets to the 47-yard line. Joe Bolden trips him up. Nova tonight with 321 yards passing at this moment. That breaks a streak of Michigan, 11 straight games holding an opponent under 300 yards passing. Last to do it, Christian Hackenberg last October against Michigan.
Well, you give up an 80-yard bomb, it's going to inflate the numbers a little bit.
And a 53-yarder.
Yeah.
2nd and 6 at the Michigan 47-yard line. Goodwin with a stiff arm, and fighting through the stiff arm. Jordan Lewis makes the stop as we go downstairs to Lisa Byington.
Kevin, Kyle Flood told me he knows that this is another important chance at a finishing opportunity on a big stage for his football team, similar to Penn State a few weeks ago. And he told us, look, this is just one of 12 games. I understand that. We're never going to get that Penn State game back again. But we aren't scared of the big moment. I really like my team, and I'm fully confident that I think that they can handle this moment here tonight.
He's really big on every week being its individual moment. 1-0 is what he preaches. Nova on third down. Catch made by Grant and a first down. He was fighting his balance all the way, but somehow stayed upright to pick up 7.
You know, they ran a similar play like this. You could see on the replay, they run Janarius Grant in motion, back one way and then back, zigzag him almost. And the defender was behind him the entire way. A little bit better throw by Gary Nova, and he probably gets a few more yards.
First down at the 38. Play action on first down. Nova with time. Nova looking deep, and his receiver goes down at the 12-yard line. Trying to hit Carew.
He had him.
And DeMonte Thomas on the coverage. They got tangled up.
Rutgers jumped into 21 personnel, 2 backs. They had a fullback in the backfield, I formation, play action pass, and they went deep. The outlet is had to come back to the flanker, and that's what they did last week and got Terzilli.
Yeah, the top of the screen right there, you can see Leonte Carew has a step on him. They just get tangled up. Incidental contact, no flag.
2nd down and 10 at the 38-yard line. Rutgers by 2, looking for more. Delayed handoff. Goodwin trying to get to the edge. Breaks the tackle of Jake Ryan, and Goodwin with good work down to the 31. A 7-yard gain before Brendan Byer can finally bring him down. You don't hear too many guys break a tackle of Jake Ryan.
No, Jake Ryan, he's a great middle linebacker. Been around a long time, and he's unorthodox, but he makes plays, and you see right there, he fights off a block, and normally when he gets his hands on you, you're going down.
So now 3rd down and 3. Rutgers has converted 4 straight 3rd downs. Motion from Burton out of the backfield. Nova over the middle, deflected and incomplete. Joe Bolden almost had it. It was looking for Tyler Croft, and Bolden, he's frustrated. He nearly had his first pick of the year.
He almost had a pick, and Rutgers had exactly what they wanted. They had the blitz coming. They go hot to the receiver. They just don't pull the string.
He had 2 guys open right there. He had his choice. He could have thrown it to Nick Arcidiacono. He was wide open as well. I think Gary Nova was just trying to get that ball out so fast. That's why it came out a little hot.
4th down and 3, and Rutgers is going to go. That's Grant in motion. Nova on the roll, finds Grant. Janarian Grant has it bobble out of bounds. It was knocked out by Raymond Taylor. The pass is incomplete, and Michigan holds. What a play by Raymond Taylor.
It's execution. They move the pocket. Someone got in his face. He's got to catch that and hold on to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Gary Nova puts the ball right on him.
Raymond Taylor gets it back for Michigan, trailing by 2. 6:42 to play in the third quarter. 19-17, Rutgers by 2. Our United States Marine Corps leader of the game, Lorenzo Waters. He's been a leader on the field defensively tonight for Rutgers. Graduated with a degree in political science and criminal justice. He's pursuing his master's degree. He's been pursuing Michigan all night long. He's had a good night. Rutgers up by 2 as Michigan starts first down and tripped up in the backfield. Nowhere to go as Quentin Gauze able to catch up to Derek Green.
You know, he was a linebacker and running back in high school. He looked like a running back getting Green there.
Yeah, he showed great burst, and you could see right there in the middle of the screen, he just runs right through. I mean, he's unblocked. He runs right through the line of scrimmage.
Defensive coordinator Joe Rossi. Seen some good things from his defense tonight, and he's kept the pressure on.
Pride of Allegheny College.
Second down and 12 at the 29. Gardner in trouble. Flag is down as Gardner dancing for extra yardage, and Gardner bouncing off tackles out to the 36-yard line. This one may be coming back.
Yeah, got to be holding.
Waters on the tackle.
Holding, offense, number 60, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Judging by how Jack Miller was arguing that afterwards, you kind of got the sense that it might be on the center.
Yeah, he's not too happy about it either. As you could see, he's letting him know. You could see Jack Miller right there working against Darius Hamilton. Just gets his arm, almost like he got him around the shoulder pad right there and just hog-tied him a little bit.
Yeah, we've seen worse, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah.
He's done worse.
You know, I never held. I only clutched. It's always tough to be an old lineman. You never get mentioned for anything until you do something wrong.
Second and 22 at the 19. Pressure coming again. Gardner throws incomplete. On the sideline, here comes the flag. Amara Darbo, the intended receiver, Nadir Barnwell, got tangled up with him, and this is going to give Michigan a first down.
Pass interference, defense, number 12, spot foul, results in an automatic first down.
I mean, I want to see the replay on this because I thought Nadir Barnwell actually ran the route better than the receiver. And it looks like the receiver's the one that was doing the pass interfering.
I agree 100% with you.
I think Nadir Barnwell is trying to make a play on the football, and he's being restricted by the receiver as opposed to the other way around.
I believe there are a few folks at High Point Solutions Stadium who would agree with you.
Yeah, they don't like it at all.
Let's look at it again.
Bottom of the screen. And look, Nadir Barnwell's trying to come back to the football. The receiver never even saw the football. I think that's a bad call.
If it was a good pass, it would have been intercepted.
So first down, huge break for Michigan. Can they take advantage? Hayes cuts it back upfield, and Justice Hayes, good vision to find that crease to get 4. Tackle made by Kenneth Kirksey. This crowd still displeased with that call. Pulled Michigan out of a giant hole. Would have been 3rd and 20 plus.
You know, when the ball is being thrown like that, I mean, the defensive back has every right to maintain his position as well as the receiver.
6 penalties now for 60 yards against Rutgers tonight. 2nd and 6 at the 34. Hayes again, and Hayes caught from behind. No gain on the play. May have gotten a half yard as he fell forward in the arms of Quentin Gauze, but it's 3rd down. One more look at that pass interference, guys.
Yeah, it's him way back here that throws the flag.
Really late, too. Really late.
3rd and 5 at the 35. Play clock winding to 10. Michigan having some problems getting things set. Play clock at 4. Gardner with pressure coming. Pumps, throws, and that one is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 40-yard line. They're going to say his knee was down as he made the catch. Davon Jacobs with his first interception of the season. And for Michigan, now 8 of their 10 interceptions have come in the second half. 15 turnovers this year, the most in FBS football. 5th second half interception thrown this year by Devin Gardner.
Yeah, it's a bad decision. Watch Gardner right here. He's in a setback now. Freeze it right there. He goes to pump it, and it's not there. Then watch what happens to his feet when he goes to throw it. He pulls it down and goes to throw it again. You can't throw a football like that. You have no power. He's wishing and hoping for a reception there.
Really his first mistake tonight. I thought he played really well up until that point. Just a bad decision, you know. At that point, coach, just go ahead and take the sack. Don't make a bad play worse.
He threw just 6 interceptions in the second half, his first 3 years combined. 5 second half interceptions this season. And the best starting field position of the night for Rutgers at the 41. Here's Nova floating it down the sideline and off the fingertip of Leonte Carew. That would have been a circus catch for Carew. Pretty good coverage out there from Jordan Lewis.
You know, I really enjoy when you talk to a coach on Thursday and then he tells you, you know, if we're catch man coverage on Carew, I have no problem with the quarterback checking to the fade and test to see if they can cover him. A lot of guys talk that, then you come out and watch the game, and there it is.
Yeah, Leonte Carew, I mean, it's good to see him back out there after that wicked hit he took. But you mentioned it, Jordan Lewis was step for step. I mean, he couldn't have covered him any better than he did on that play.
2nd and 10. Nova again over the middle, and across the midfield stripe goes Tyler Croft. The tight end getting a little more involved. He's got a first down for Rutgers.
You know, for Rutgers, this is the first game all season long where they've had all 3 of their tight ends healthy. So it gives Ralph Friedgen a little bit more opportunity to use some different packages, have them all out on the field at the same time. Tyler Croft, he's happy that he's back in this offense after disappearing a little bit earlier this season.
And that helps that diversity you saw with those receivers. 6 different receivers with 2 or more catches tonight. A lot of targets for Gary Nova. From the Michigan 49. Grant in motion, and Grant gets the carry. Grant caught from behind as he cuts to the 42-yard line. Joe Bolden able to grab him as Grant flashed by.
It's so hard to play defense anymore. You know, you come out in a spread set and then they shift, and now they're in a 12 set, 1 back, 2 tight ends, and then you give the jet sweep. Man, there's a lot of adjustments that you have to make out there.
Is it just me, or does Rutgers look like the Seattle Seahawks right now? With Percy Harvin, you mentioned the jet sweep. I mean, give Ralph Friedgen credit, because Michigan has not been able to account for the speed of Janarius Grant. They've hit him with that little jet sweep. They hit him out of the backfield on a sprint out passes. His speed is hurting Michigan. 23
yards rushing tonight for Grant. Here's Peoples, and Peoples gets the first down to the 37. 5-yard pickup. James Ross on the tackle for Michigan.
Now, we talked about this earlier, but Ralph Friedgen, when we met with him, he said, we need a bunch of those 3 or 4 yard ugly runs. They don't look like much, like Minnesota had. Just have some patience, keep plowing it in there, because this defensive front for Michigan is so good, you have to be content with that.
At the 37, first down. Again to the ground game, and this time Jake Ryan up to the challenge. No advance, no broken tackle for Peoples that time.
Well, there was no doubt coming into this game, Michigan was not going to get out of their lanes defensively. Last week against Minnesota, when you give up 200 yards on the ground, you can be sure you're going to see a lot of 9-on-7 in practice that week. They're going to make sure that they have everything corrected defensively.
And saying that, you got to be pretty darn impressed with Rutgers' offensive line so far.
Nova off the play fake. Again, finds his fullback, Michael Burton. And Burton banging his way out of bounds. Helmets flying off on the sidelines. Raymond Taylor finally able to knock him out. Jordan Lewis lost his headgear. The 16-yard pickup by Michael Burton.
Number 26 of the deep helmet came off. He must leave 1 play.
That rule instituted a couple of years ago when the helmet comes off. unless you use a timeout, which was added a year later, have to leave the field. So Jordan Lewis leaves the field for one play. First down at the 20-yard line. Peoples, little stutter step, found a crease, and Desmond Peoples to the 14-yard line. They're staying with that run game, and you're starting to see 4, 5, and 6 yards now for Desmond Peoples.
That was the game plan, and he is a nifty runner. You know, you get him past the line of scrimmage where there's one tackler, whether it be a linebacker or safety, he's going to get that extra yards. Shifting.
Andre Patton, the single receiver to the top of your screen. Second down and 4 at the 14-yard line. And a whistle and a flag is thrown and some movement.
False start, offense, number 88, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Just mentioned Andre Patton as the single receiver. He's the guy who moved early.
He missed the first 4 games, and now he's back. And you know, coaches talk about all the time, for a guy lined up out there, he should never move. You don't listen to the snap count. You watch the ball.
Yeah, you should be looking into the football. You don't move.
He will be watching this play from the sidelines.
I'm sure he'll hear about it.
Rutgers is not going to take another snap in this third quarter. Gary Nova headed for the fourth quarter with a lead. His team in the red zone to start the fourth quarter. Kyle Flood and Brady Hoke. A huge quarter coming up for both of those head coaches and their teams. Through 3 here in Piscataway. Rutgers with a 2-point lead, 19-17. BTN football tonight. Michigan and Rutgers, just south of the New York metropolitan area. Here in Piscataway, New Jersey, Rutgers trying for a big statement win tonight over the Michigan Wolverines. They lead by just 2 as we start the fourth quarter. Michigan 1-yard total offense in that third quarter. Second down, Desmond Peoples. Big hole, and Desmond Peoples down to the 9. First and goal for Rutgers. Jared Wilson catching up to Desmond Peoples, but the run game's starting to become more effective now, Glenn Mason.
Well, it is, and you got to credit, they know what they're doing. They're getting a blitz, they're getting some pressure. The offensive line makes the adjustment on the line, they kick it out, hand it off, and they're off to the races.
Yeah, Joe Bolden came off the edge right there, and the right tackle for Rutgers did a great job. Taj Alexander just fanned out. There's a huge hole for Desmond Peoples.
First and goal at the 9. Flanagan, the motion man. Peoples the carry. Peoples with a flag down inside the 5 at the 4. Jared Wilson on the tackle, and here's the word on the flag.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, number 72 and 74. 15-yard penalty, replay first down.
Left side of the line called for a chop block.
Yeah, it's the left guard and the left tackle, and if one man is engaged, the other man can't get low. And let's watch it right here. It's these 2 guys right here.
I didn't see anything from that angle.
Yeah, it's normally the first guy's high and the back guy's low.
Right, but if you're an adjacent lineman, you're allowed to do that.
First and goal back at the 24-yard line. Nova over the middle. Carew with the catch. And Carew down at the 14-yard line. 10-yard pickup. Jake Ryan on the tackle. He is strong to the football. Leonte Carew and Jake Ryan closing very quickly. Nice matchup between those 2.
Yeah, when the quarterback gets the ball in his hands that fast on a crossing route and puts it on the money, it's hard to defend that.
Yeah, but you're right. Not an easy tackle for Jake Ryan. He made it look easy, but in the open field like that against Carew, tough tackle.
10th play of the drive. Nova for the end zone. It is caught. It is a touchdown. Andrew Terzilli. touchdown pass tonight for Gary Nova. Second time he's hooked up with Andrew Terzilli. It's an 8-point game. Remember, these extra points have been a bit of an adventure tonight. One blocked, one tough snap that was held. This is a big extra point, and it makes it a 9-point game. 26-17 Rutgers with 13-12 remaining in the fourth quarter. Rutgers with a 26-17 lead, 13-12 to play fourth quarter. First time in his career, Andrew Terzilli with multiple touchdown catches in a game.
Watch this, a lost start. Look at that fake right there. Clears out the underneath coverage.
Yeah, and then great job by Gary Nova. Look at his eyes. He scans the left side of the field. Watch him look to the left right now. Now he comes back to the right. Great progression right there for him. I mean, Gary Nova made it look so easy. He looks so smooth and so confident right now.
You saw the smile on his face, didn't you? I mean, he knew what happened there. He cleared everybody out, and like you said, he came backside, touchdown. Good protection right there. Credited from the play action fake, the effective running game.
Norfleet at the 9-yard line. Norfleet trying to reverse his field. Slips through two defenders. Norfleet with good work all the way out to the 31-yard line. Impressive return from Dennis Norfleet. And Gary Nova, impressive night. 378 yards and 3 touchdowns tonight for Gary Nova.
And most impressive, no turnovers. The other stuff's impressive too, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Nova is 18 yards away from 8,000 in his career.
That's a lot. Carry the one, yep, that's a lot.
It's approximately 8,000 more than I have. At the 31, first down, Green banging his way forward, delivering some punishment as he takes it down near the 39-yard line. In the second half, this team has not been particularly built for the comeback through the air. They have really struggled in the second half passing the football.
Well, you know, you always look for a reason, and there's not always a reason. A lot of people say, well, you know, halftime adjustments aren't good, or your team's not in good condition. And sometimes that has nothing to do with it. You just aren't capable, you aren't good enough when the game's on the line to make the plays.
Derek Green, a running back next to Gardner, as Funchess makes the catch, and he's drilled by Nadir Barnwell. Fighting off the block of J.U. Chesson, Barnwell drove right into Funchess and dropped him.
What a great play by Nadir. And he talked this week about how he was excited. He was looking forward to the matchup against Funchess. He wanted to compete against the best. He wanted to know where he stacked up. He makes a great play right there.
And you talk about Walcott. He took a shot, but he took it at the outside. So that if he missed, that receiver had to go back inside where the posse was coming from.
Exactly. Posse, I like that.
Joe Rossi.
He's bringing the heat.
He's bringing the crowd.
He's bringing it.
3 for 9 on third down. And Michigan takes a timeout before this 3rd and 2. This place electric, and their team at home with a 26-17 lead. Just outside of New York City, Rutgers trying to knock off Michigan. 11:42 remaining in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 2 for Michigan. Green on 3rd down with a first down and more. Punishing run again from Derek Green, and the sophomore gets the first and a huge first down for the Wolverines.
Interesting move by Michigan. They lined up 2 backs, 2 tight ends, and they shifted up so they had 2 wings. They were going to make sure that they got Green back to the line of scrimmage without any outside pressure.
Well, they ran right behind center Jack Miller. Did a great job on the nose guard right there. He and Graham Glasgow, the left guard, they did a great job opening up that defense.
At the 47, first down, Green again into Rutgers territory. Lots of running room now as he breaks the tackle, and Green finally chased out at the 33 by Kevin Snyder. Derek Green getting things rolling. He picks up 20.
Well, Kyle Kalis is going to pull around. He's the right guard. You'll see him right here. He's going to pull around and get a great block at the point of attack. Right up there on the linebacker, springs the running back. Michigan's going smash mouth right now. They're not airing it out.
First down and 10 at the Rutgers 32-yard line. Gardner on the keep. And Gardner able to make something out of nothing. That looked like it was going nowhere, and the little hesitation by Gardner gets him down to the 24-yard line.
I like what Doug Nussmeier's doing here. He's not saying, Devin Gardner, you have to win this football game all by yourself. You don't have to go out and match Gary Nova throw for throw. Let's do what we do best. Let's take care of Devin Gardner. Let's not put him in a bad situation, and let's play to our strength, running the football.
Davion Smith now in the backfield on 2nd and 2. Funchess in motion. Smith chugging to the outside. He's got the first down. Davion Smith chased out by Steve Longa, but another first down for Michigan, and this is just power football right now for Michigan.
This is really what has been missing, and we talked about the offensive line. In all fairness to Michigan with their offensive line, as they try to develop this offensive line, not only this year but last year, they've been riddled with injuries.
Yeah.
It's hard to get the same line up in there all the time.
Eric Magnuson's out. He's not playing. That's why Glasgow's playing left guard. But they're running to the left. They're running behind true freshman Mason Cole.
First down and 10 at the 19-yard line. Play action. Gardner in some trouble. Gardner going to try to run. Breaks the tackle. Gardner going to take it all the way for the touchdown. What a bounce back by the senior as he slipped through the grasp of Quentin Gauze and took it all the way in for 6. Wiles' extra point makes it a 2-point game, and it bears repeating. Rutgers missed an extra point. Had it blocked earlier, would have been a 3-point game otherwise, but now Michigan, with a field goal, could win this one.
Well, Lorenzo Waters had him dead to rights.
Gauze had a chance as well, couldn't bring him down. Great play.
Great juke move by Gardner. Really credit the physical running and the pounding up front, running the football that set up that play action fake. And as a defensive coordinator, Joe Rossi, you know, you have Lorenzo Waters right there ready to make a play, and he can't tackle the guy. Devin Gardner's making some great plays tonight.
Well, you know, the problem on that, Sean, with Lorenzo Waters, with a guy that's got the ability, Devin Gardner, if you get upfield too much, he'll duck inside and then get back outside. And if you don't get upfield enough, he'll step around outside. And the only chance you have is you got to get him down.
Here's my question for you guys. 7 plays on that drive, 6 of them were runs. Did Doug Nussmeier find something here in the 4th quarter that he could utilize, maybe not only in this game, but moving forward?
Well, you'd have to say that that drive is the best that Michigan has looked, especially running the football in a long time.
Well, Glenn, I think it comes down to that 3rd and 1. When they packed the house, they brought in the tight ends and they jammed it up there and they pounded it inside.
Oh, hesitation by Goodwin bringing it out. And Goodwin breaks a tackle. Fortunate to get across the 20-yard line, and decent field position for Rutgers as we go downstairs and visit with Lisa Byington.
Kevin, with Rutgers offense coming out, they're going to be able to attack a depleted secondary. Starting safety for Michigan, Jeremy Clark, is out. Now remember, the emphasis for Michigan, one of the emphasis was to take a helmet away if a player was out. And I watched the athletic training staff take Clark's helmet away, and actually Clark tried to grab it back from them, and they're very insistent about leaving it out. So he is out. And remember, too, that Jabril Peppers, their starting nickelback, not even dressed here today in street clothes. So the depleted secondary issues continue here for Michigan.
Delano Hill also out tonight in that secondary for Michigan. Thank you, Lisa. 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Toss play for Goodwin, and Goodwin not going to be able to get to the edge. Brendan Byer is there. And a little jawing afterwards as Michigan fired up a shot of confidence after that last offensive possession.
Well, that was a real fine play by Brendan Byard, and the crowd roared, but he didn't do anything there on the sideline. I mean, that was a really good play. It looked initially like they might be able to turn the corner.
2nd down and 10 at the 23. Again trying to find running room, and again none is there. Swarming to the football, that Michigan front, stacking everything up. First man there, Ryan Glasgow, also at the bottom of that pile, Mario Ojemudia.
Now we've gone back to old school football by both teams.
Well, to your point, Kevin, I think offensively, Michigan said, we feel like we're the bigger team and the stronger team. We're going to try to take it to you. And defensively right now, it's showing up with the front. The defensive linemen are controlling the line of scrimmage. Brady Hoke talked about it. They wanted to create more of a surge up front. They're certainly doing that right now.
Play clock down to 3 on 3rd down and 10. Nova facing a 4-man rush. Floats it for Carew. 1st down and more. Leonte Carew down at the 49-yard line. 26 yards before Jordan Lewis can make the stop.
3rd down, pressure situation. That's the play of the game so far. You don't convert there, you're going to punt the ball away. You're going to give Michigan, that has momentum that you keep talking about, good field position, and all of a sudden now, momentum all goes with Rutgers.
Brady can't believe it.
He knows that was a big one. Nova now over 8,000 yards in his career and over 400 tonight. And a new set of downs to work with, but nowhere to go. Frank Clark met Justin Goodwin and drove him back. A loss of 3.5 yards on the play.
You know, Glenn, you mentioned the 3rd downs, getting off the field defensively, and Brady Hoke mentioned it coming out of halftime. You have to do a better job getting pressure on 3rd down. There was no pressure on that 3rd down play from Gary Nova. He made that completion very easy.
Under 7 minutes to go. Rutgers by a pair. 2nd and 13 at the 46. Nova throws incomplete. Batted away by Delonte Hollowell. Good play by the senior from Detroit on John Simmons.
You think in this last series, Rutgers came out running the football. Think back to the Penn State game when they had the lead, and they got the ball back with about 7 minutes, and they came out throwing right away and didn't use any clock. They didn't convert it. You know, coaches have long memories. They remember that stuff, and that's when you'd really like to get about a 5-minute drive for a score.
3rd down and 13. Michigan backs off after showing pressure. Nova over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Tyler Croft. Jake Ryan out there on the coverage. 4th down, and Rutgers will punt it away.
Well, they came with that line stunt again, Sean, you keep talking about, and they haven't picked it up yet on the left-hand side. He had to get rid of it right down the middle, but Jake Ryan, exceptional coverage.
Well, they only rushed 3 defenders, and it looked like Taco Charlton got some pressure in there. He beat the center, but great coverage by Jake Ryan. He was step for step. Even if that throw had been better and closer to the tight end, I don't think he would have caught it.
Oh, wobbly punt off the foot of Gleason. Takes a roll for Rutgers, and it'll trickle out of bounds at the 14-yard line. Turns out to be a decent punt from Gleason. This division. Michigan 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Back to the ground. Smith this time breaking tackles, and Smith working his way out across the 20 near the 23-yard line. They had 70 rushing yards for the game before their last drive. 69 yards on the ground that last drive, and another 9 here.
Watch this block by number 80 right here, Khalid Hill. Watch him come up on Stevie Longa. Wow, boom, put him right on his behind. That's power football right here. You mentioned it. Did Nussmeier find something? Yeah, I think he found power football.
2nd and 1 at the 23-yard line. Gardner again on the handoff to Smith. Smith breaks the tackle and gets the 1st down. Well, it was Lorenzo Waters who came up and brought some punishment. Davion Smith just shrugged it off and got the 1st.
You talk about physical football by both sides. When you can hear that contact all the way up here, it's not just one side going hard, it's both.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a lot of things that Coach Rossi's got to worry about. You talk about power football, but the thing he's got to worry about most is Devin Gardner taking off running again.
Yes.
27-yard line, first down and 10. It's a 2-point game, remember, because Maurice Hurst Jr. blocked an extra point early in the game. Play action. Gardner with time. He'll throw it short. The catch by Hill, and Khalid Hill with another first down to the 39-yard line. Kevin Snyder on the stop. 12-yard gain and a first down once more for Michigan.
How about Khalid Hill? He makes a block in the running game. Now he gets out and catches a pass. He's like an H-back. I don't think I've seen anybody do it that well since Aaron Shea did it back in the day. Former number 36, a former teammate of mine with the Browns.
And I was watching Rutgers' defensive line. They were rushing very cautiously. They want to make sure they contain Gardner.
First down, the give to Smith. And Smith driven back after he takes it 4 yards to the 43-yard line. Kevin Snyder again on the stop. 4:37 to go. Michigan has 2 timeouts. Rutgers, if you're looking ahead, has all 3 timeouts remaining.
That PAT though, Kevin.
Looming so large right now.
The most important point is the extra point.
Matt Wiles' career-long 52 yards. Empty backfield on second down. Gardner, the slant, the catch by Funchess, and Funchess down to the Rutgers 40-yard line. Devin Funchess with a giant play once more, picks up 17 and a first down.
Remember, he's not just a wide receiver. He's a 6'5", 230-pound wide receiver. When he runs in on that slant route, it's a lot different than a normal. You just can't get one hand around him and let him catch the ball and bring him down.
Yeah, well, you have a one-on-one right there with Jonathan Aiken, who sat out the first half because he was ejected for targeting last week.
Gardner on the play fake, stepping up and looking deep. And he overshoots Amara Darbo. Coverage from Garif Glashan.
Good protection by the Michigan offensive line. He had all the time in the world. He just threw it deep, overthrew him.
Yeah, but I like the call. I like taking a shot. You know, you've been running the football well. Why not go for a big home run ball right there? And you know what? Devin Gardner, he erred on the side of caution. If you're going to make that throw and you're going to miss long, so it's incomplete.
Michigan last led 17-12 late in the first half. Trying to get the lead back, but a big play there for Rutgers on defense. Kimoko Toure along with Dewani Mera on the stop. And now, giant third down for both teams. And there's an injured Wolverine, and it's the running back Davion Smith.
Michigan's defensive line has really started to take over in the trenches. I might trust my defense.
With that in mind, if you decide to go for it on fourth, that changes how you call this play on third, correct?
Absolutely. If you've got that in your mindset, you told the quarterback, you don't have to force it. Just get us to a workable fourth down, and I will go for it.
And the fact that you only need a field goal, you're more comfortable to kick it and hopefully hope to get it back.
Third down and 9. Gardner to the air. Gardner with a completion to Darbo right at the sticks.
That ball came out as he hit the ground.
Officials are confirming. Now it's incomplete. It is ruled an incomplete
Ruling
pass.
on the field is an incomplete pass. The ball came out.
All right, let's hear it. Let's look at it here. It's a good throw.
1, 2. I mean, it looks like he makes the catch, and he gets 2 feet down, so he completes it. And then the ball comes out when he hits the ground. So I feel like that's a catch, and then the ball, the ground caused the ball to come out. Look, he catches it 1, 2. He makes an athletic move after he catches it, and now he's reaching out for the yard mark.
There's no indication yet.
I think that was a catch.
4th and 9. for Michigan. 39-yard line of Rutgers. Play clock is down to 3. And the timeout is taken.
Timeout.
Devin Gardner spent most of the time in that huddle trying to get his teammates fired up. Michigan is challenging the previous play. We were wondering where that would come from, and it finally has occurred. The challenge has occurred on this rule that incompletion on the field.
He has possession clearly, 1 feet, 2 feet down. I mean, I think he completes the catch and makes an athletic move towards the first down marker. I think you have to rule that a catch. Let's say that was in the field of play, okay, and that ball comes out. Take the out of bounds out of it. You make that catch and you go down reaching for first down in the middle of the field and the ball comes out. It's a catch and it's not a fumble.
I'm shocked. Critical play in this situation that they wouldn't have just reviewed that automatically.
Yeah.
Michigan is challenging it. They took the timeout, obviously to give the guys in the booth a little more opportunity to look at it, and then Michigan has opted for the challenge. It was initially, you see, ruled a catch, then the back official comes in to rule it incomplete.
Yes.
And here comes, you saw the pad of paper starting to come out of the pocket of Todd Gearlings. That's usually a sign that there is going to be a change on the field as he started to pull that pad of paper out.
Boy, they've been busy tonight, Kevin.
Here's the microphone. What will be the ruling?
After further review, the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass is confirmed. 4th down. Michigan is charged with a timeout. They do not have a challenge remaining.
Huge challenge for so many reasons. They're out of timeouts.
And confirmed. Not stands, confirmed.
I guess they're saying that he just didn't complete the entire catch. I don't know. If he only got 1 foot down, I would buy it. But to get 2 feet down.
So now the field goal team will come on. A wind is at the back of Matt Weil. His career long is 52 yards in 2012. This from 56 for the lead, and a timeout taken by Rutgers.
Calls timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Now the wind is really blowing. From our vantage point, it looked like it's at his back.
And Kevin, let's keep in mind, Rutgers, nobody's blocked more kicks than Rutgers since 2009. I mean, that's just what they do here.
Only 39 of them.
Just 39, most in the nation.
Well, remember, Matt Weil was the kickoff specialist and the punter for the most part last year. 3 for 5 with a long field goal of 49 in 2013. In 2012, he was 2 for 3. He hit his career long then of 52 yards.
Well, guess who's going to be in the middle of that field?
Yeah.
Kimoko Toure. He has 2 block kicks already. Number 53, because on a low kick, Glenn, that ball, the trajectory is low. You're trying to drive the football. 53, you're going to see him jump right in the middle of your screen.
56-yarder for the lead. And it's blocked! It is blocked! Rutgers does it again!
Excuse me, number 58. Kimoko Toure.
I stand corrected. That's the 40th block. I mean, and let me tell you, the next team close to them is Fresno State at 27. They're phenomenal. Now, if you're Kyle Flood,
look at this play. Watch Kimoko Toure. Look at that vertical leap. Glenn, you've got ups like that, right?
no.
Wow. What a play. You know, if you're Brady Hoke, does that even come into your consideration as a coach, Glenn?
It would mine.
Knowing how good they are at blocking kicks?
And here's Desmond Peoples on first down. to the 37-yard line. Jake Ryan on the tackle.
Man, what Kyle Flood would do for just a 3-minute drive, running the football, getting first downs.
Since 2012, it's 17 blocks alone. It has to factor in when you're going to work against Rutgers, especially when you've got to go with a low trajectory to get the extra distance.
Oh, he's going to.
This game isn't over, but this has been a great football game. A bunch of kids playing their tails off on both sides. Well played football game.
But you're right, it's not over.
No.
2nd down and 2. Peoples, first down for Rutgers. That'll help the Scarlet Knights. Jake Ryan on the tackle, and it's a first down. Our Duluth Trading hardest working player is Gary Nova, one of the best passing nights in Rutgers history. 404 yards and 3 touchdowns, and certainly the best night in his history at Rutgers.
Yeah, congratulations to Mitch Browning, offensive line, coaching that offensive line, because they're going against a darn good defense. And I'm not saying this game's over yet, but I mean, they're doing what they have to do right now.
But ball security is paramount right here. If you're anybody that handles the football.
Flag is down. Like a little movement early on the Rutgers side.
I'll start. Multiple players moving at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
There's Brady Hoke, and we know there has certainly been a lot of conversation, Glenn Mason, about what's going on with Brady Hoke as head coach at Michigan. What happens after this one, if it does indeed end in Michigan's 4th loss of the year? Michigan has the 1 timeout remaining. 1st and 15 after the penalty for Rutgers. Peoples, no gain on the play. And now a timeout will be taken.
Well, I've got great empathy for
Michigan
coaches.
calls their 3rd and final timeout.
You know that I can only think, there's a good man.
This is a 30-second timeout.
He's worked his tail off. Things aren't working out. He was the first one when he took the job, said expectations are high, and if they go on to lose this game, Kevin, that'll be 9 losses in the last 12 games.
And the first time we're starting 0-2 in Big Ten play since 1967.
How old were you, Coach?
He was 12 then.
That's a long time ago.
Not that long ago.
Well, you know, in a school like Michigan, and Brady Hoke knows this, he has said many times, he knows what the expectations are when you coach at a premier program like Michigan. And this is certainly not going to make for a much easier week for Brady Hoke. A matchup with Penn State follows for Michigan. Second down, the carry to Peoples, and Desmond Peoples trying to break that 2nd tackle, and he cannot do it. Down at the 36-yard line. But the clock continuing to run under a minute. A block kick, a huge play in this one. The 56-yarder, and Kimoko Toure, our John Deere Gator game-changing performance. 1 tackle, half a sack for the Big Ten's leader, and his 3rd block of the year.
He blocked the field goal the last time we were here against Penn State.
Yes.
And here is the happiest formation Rutgers fans are going to see. Gary Nova takes the knee, and what a night in Piscataway, New Jersey. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights get a giant win in their first year in the Big Ten Conference. Rutgers, their first conference win, and it comes against the Michigan Wolverines. Our final score tonight, Rutgers 26, Michigan 24.